everybody, welcome to this week's video. This week we're around the campfire, but I wanted to talk about and follow up a little bit more with what I talked about last week, talking about the glycemic index. The glycemic index is basically an index of how fast foods, especially carbohydrates, break down. So it's actually a reverse scale. So the higher the glycemic index, the faster the food breaks down. The lower the glycemic index foods, the slower they break down. And so I thought the best way to represent that would be looking at a campfire and the way our body generates heat. Things burn or produce calories in our body by heat. That's what keeps us at the temperature we are, is by the foods that we break down in our body. So I wanted to then demonstrate the difference between a simple sugar, which would have a high glycemic index, means it breaks down very quickly, versus a food that has a low glycemic index, which means it breaks down slow. All right, so to demonstrate the glycemic index and how this correlates to a fire, what I wanted to do is draw your attention to two different foods here. Here I have a Hershey's chocolate bar and an apple, all right? This chocolate bar has about 200 calories in it. Apple has, for the sake of argument, 100 calories in it. And so about half of this candy bar is equivalent in calories to this apple. But the difference is how fast they're broken down, okay? Obviously the candy bar has a lot of simple sugars in it, broken down very quickly. The apple has the same amount of calories, but takes a lot longer to break down. And so what I wanted to do is draw your analogy, again, to the way they break down in our body, to that of a campfire. So here, I have the simple sugar as the candy bar, all right, which is this pine bough. Now, for a lot of you who have been around a fire, you know that when I throw these on the fire, okay, it's going to get super hot, all right? Burns fast, okay? Generates a lot of heat very quickly, all right? But then it's gone, okay? Contrast that to this log, okay, which is similar to the apple. Again, when your body chews it up, it breaks it down into parts, but those parts are still big, all right? So they're still going to take a long time to break down, all right? Lower glycemic index food. So again, the pine bough, simple sugar, high glycemic index food, burns up very quickly, all right? You get a big sugar spike, a big spike in calorie release, but it's not sustained. Lower glycemic index food like the apple, similar to this log, even when your body breaks it down, similar to a piece of split wood, still takes longer to break down than the pine bough does, gives you a more sustained caloric release in your body, and again, doesn't get that quick spike like a high glycemic index food. So that's the glycemic index. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.